Hello, Tater Tots, and welcome to the Dick Family Basement on this fantastic Thursday. It is a great Thursday. I had a not bad sleep last night, and and everything is kind of going my way this morning. I know it's early. It's all you early birds out there that come and listen to me live here as I ramble on for about a half hour. So I really appreciate all you early birds that come there, and also appreciate all those people who download this podcast during the week every Thursday. If you don't know this, every Thursday at 6:15 Saskatchewan time. I know what some of you are saying right now. Yes, I was a little bit late. I was a minute late today. I apologize. I was reading some stuff and I was a little bit late. But anyways, usually 6:15 I'm here to talk about the week in review, my rundown, so to speak. You can phone me at 1-844-340-5001. Come on, use it. I need that to be used because it's pretty awesome. So hopefully by the next couple of weeks, we'll have live phone-ins and stuff like this. I'm still setting that up. I was going to do some video stuff on my X account at Catholic Mashup. That is my Twitter handle or X handle. And I post a lot of stuff, a lot of upcoming stuff, and also live stream this here too on X. And I was going to do some videos on there, but it's a little bit more complex than I anticipated. I thought it was sort of like the audio only stuff where it's just click and boom, but it is not. So I don't know if I'm going to spend the time to learn something new or just find some easy way to do it. If you know an easy way to stream video, please let me know. I would really appreciate that sort of plug and play or click and play or whatever like that. So let's get on to today's episode. First and foremost, or not really foremost, but first, what we do is do the athletic or sports rundown. So how the NFL playoffs is shaking out, I guess everyone's a Bills fan. Okay. And I don't want to hear anyone talking about Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. If you out there are a Kansas City Chief and you don't know who Christian Okoye is, then we're done. Okay. Then you're obviously a bandwagon fan. No, I understand. I understand why Kansas City Chiefs are a good team. Okay. They don't do anything super spectacular, let's just say, but they do everything really well. Very well disciplined. I admire that. I admire that. Okay. But no, they can't win again. Okay. No go zone. Okay. So how about my basketball? My T-Wolves are not doing very well. They're losing close games. Yesterday they beat the Mavs, I think, by 2 points, which is good. The Mavs did not have Luka, but it was a good. Jaden McDaniels stepped up, which I'm super happy about because he's been a little bit of hot trash lately. I don't know what needs to happen in the T-Wolves. I think this year is sort of a write-off. We're going to be in the play-in tournament. Come on. I think this whole Randall trade that I was actually pretty keen on, I thought it was going to work out, is not. Randall is not a good fit. I think he's not a good fit both on and off the court. I could be wrong, but there's just no sort of pizzazz, or as the young kid says, there's no riz on the floor for the T-Wolves, which they had lots of it last year. I knew why they had to. I think it was good that they traded away Karl Anthony Towns, but this trade, hopefully they'll do something at the trade deadline. The Milwaukee Bucks, they're in a 5-game winning streak, fourth in the East. Not bad. Their game yesterday against the Pelicans were postponed because of harsh weather and stuff like that. So, but fourth in the East is not bad. Are they a contender? No, I don't think so. They could make some noise in the playoffs. Giannis is amazing. Damian Lillard is good. And it's like this. I think Damian Lillard is a little bit beyond his, on the wrong side of his peak, maybe. I don't know. But I could see them doing some trades at the trade deadline and see what happens. There is some talk that they're in the Jimmy Butler rumors to trade for him. I think that would be a really bad idea. Although to be very honest, I would love to see Jimmy Butler as a Buck. They would just be so delicious in some way. Lots of content, so to speak. my elementary school team, undefeated still. We actually beat the best. Well, up to that point, we were both undefeated. We beat the other undefeated team this week, and then we played the other St. Agnes team yesterday. And we have a good team. We have a good, solid team, very deep, probably the deepest team that I've ever coached. And we do everything pretty good, pretty like above average. We pass lots. One of the things that I find really difficult in coaching is just to coach, to motivate the guys to be aggressive, just to be out there and be aggressive. I think that's one of the big things that we have to really work on, is how to be aggressive without fouling, especially on defense, and how do we be aggressive on the offense? How do we, finish our drives, right? Like I say to the kids that play, I said, like, let's not play like there's a bunch of cute girls in the stands, okay? Because sometimes that's what happens. They do silly things and not just playing straightforward basketball. In not this Friday, not tomorrow, but next Friday, we'll play a public school team out of Caronport, a little bit outside of Moose Jaw. They are traditionally really good, so we could get our butts whooped there, and that would be okay with me. We need to have some. We've been beating every team very handedly, so it'd be good to have some, competition that way. Okay, so now we go to news that is interesting to me. I have the shared folder. It's in my paper pile. If you actually clicked on it or looked at the articles, please let me know. I kind of put these 3 articles. I try to do at least 3 articles a week. And if you read them or looked at them or you found them helpful, please leave me some feedback in that, because it's very important to know, what people want during this time. Okay, so it seems like it's tradition now that I do at least one magazine per reading group. So one of the 3 files is an old Avalon Hill general magazine, 1966, believe, even older than me. I put this because I really I think that this is just my nerdy sort of disposition. Like, old magazines and old popular books really have a snapshot of what was going on at that time, like in a kind of a boots on the ground sort of way. You could look at a history book and all this, and I think that's important and good. But one of the reasons why I read these action adventure novels, these like popular men's books in the 70s, 80s, and very early 90s, is because it gives a real kind of interesting shot of what was interesting, like what was the I guess the concern of the time. Like in those action adventure books, we have the mob was a big deal, these mysteries and police procedurals, and that kind of led to the Cold War, sort of Russia and China and some existential threat. A lot of that time, a lot of books too about like making child armies and stuff like that, and then it went to Russia, bombed America, this sort of post-apocalyptic sort of world where everything is gone, this sort of anarchy and it's like this, and I think that really told the story of those times, those different times. Here in the Avalon Hill General, 1966, believe it or not, you could get a full year subscription for $4.98. That is pretty awesome, and it's a bi-monthly, so you're looking at 24 like issues for only $4.95, not even $5. And it was told in this March 1966 is that it's going from 12 to 16 pages starting in the next issue. So that's pretty awesome. There's some games that are being reviewed and understanding. Some of the games are still semi-popular or have their own following, like Stalingrad, Midway, Brits Creek. Those are 3 games that are still somewhat popular, or still, people, I've seen people play them. And this is 1966. That's pretty amazing. And of course, wargaming has its own subgenre, especially like hex and counter wargaming and stuff like that. One thing I like, I've read a lot of old Avalon Hill magazines. It talks about their own philosophy about how to properly simulate like historical events, historical battles, and it's always super interesting. And also too, before the internet and stuff like this, they used to have like play by air or play by mail, how to you play these war games through snail mail, which is pretty cool. Also the letters of the editor, talking about some game critiques, some clarifications, then historical notes, and it's pretty good. So it also has a retail availability. Sometimes, believe it or not, is that I look through some of these old magazines. Haven't done this recently, but I have in the past. It has an address of a business or a person. Sometimes comics used to have like, especially I did this when I was going through some old DC comics about Judge Dredd, and then they would have a letter from someone and they give us full address. And we're talking about like 1980s, 1990s. Anyways, I would write a letter to them or a postcard saying, hey, listen, I have the same interests. You're probably not at this address anymore, but, who's ever there, I'm interested in Judge Dredd or these board games or whatever. I've probably written maybe 10, 15 letters like that. I've never got a response. But I always think one day I will. Okay, next article is from The Pillar, and it is about the ongoing sort of tragedy saga of the church in China. And so what's happening now is there's some suppression of a diocese. So they collapsed the diocese there, and then they erected a new one. And basically the Vatican did this under pressure of the Chinese state to have the boundaries of dioceses look more like their own counties or like state boundaries. And so out of all the crisis in the church, and there is lots, and you hear, if you go on X or if you read any of it, which I try not to be very honest, people ask me all these questions about the universal church, or even sometimes in our archdiocese, and I say, man, I don't even pay attention. It's not good for my spiritual health. One of the things, as you faithful listeners will know, is one of the things I do keep track of, and I try to read as much as possible, is the church in China. Why? Is because I think the church in China is a good bellwether of the health of our Catholic faith. At one time, we really supported persecuted churches. We really went and listened to them, right? I guess before this synoodling was cool, we already did it by listening to the martyrs. Those were the people we listened to. What were they dying for? What were they saying before they're dying? What were their diaries all about? I wish we still had that here in our church. Instead, it seems like, especially in the Church of China, as we just lead these faithful people to the slaughter, we don't listen to them at all. It is sad. They're not dying saying that what is the flavor of the month. They're not dying saying that abortion is not all that bad. Heck no, right? We're listening to the wrong people in the church. Full stop. And I'm not even saying you should listen to me. I'm saying that we should listen to the persecuted church in China, Cardinal Zen. Those are the people we need to be listening to. And it seems over and over again, the church makes it more and more difficult, or the church doesn't listen to them. Actually, they throw their concerns out, thinking that, why can't you just conform to the world and have, the Catholic moniker just slapped on, instead of understanding that, being a Catholic, being a Christian is an all or nothing. It's an ontological change. It is who we are. This is who we identify as Christians. And it's so important that we listen. And so in this article, it talks about the ongoing issues between the agreement that the church signed with China, which is actually secret, right? And it is sad. So it talks about a bishop coming into for this new diocese, and this has all been very, very slow. And this is and this goes really against the tradition of the Vatican of doing all this stuff. So there seems to be the fruit of this Vatican-China deal is not good. The fruits are sour and bitter. And we need to pray for the Chinese church. We need to pray for conversion for the Vatican officials that are in charge of this. And we need to pray for the Chinese people who live under this oppressive government. It is sad that we as Canadians only care about our cheap goods and not how other people are treated. This month is the Sanctity of Life month, and I've preached a lot on abortion, euthanasia, this uptick of these dehumanizing and the disregard of human life. Part and parcel of that is to understand that that people that are being exploited and being oppressed is part of the sanctity of life. If we think that somehow we have a right to freedom, and other places don't, but those places actually provide us with cheap goods, and we turn a blind eye because we want those cheap goods, that is very sinful. That we will be judged by that, like JP2 said, St. John Paul II. We will be judged by how we were complicit in the exploitation of labor and of people, and it is sad that we don't take that more seriously. The last one is, of course, a Canadian article about inflation and about how the Bank of Canada looks like it's going to drop their interest rates. Now, as we all know, that this could, lower interest rates overall might be okay, but I am really skeptical. I'm really skeptical about how the economy of Canada is going. I don't think the inflation rates are as low as they claim. Now, yes, of course, they are, but in a sense, it really, how should I say it, masks the real impact of inflation. I'll give you an example. If inflation this year, let's say, was 2%, and the next year was 1%, we said, we cut inflation in half. But the cumulative inflation was 3%, right? It's like I gained 50 pounds. Next year, I gained 25 pounds. Look, I gained half, but I'm still left with 75 extra pounds. It is this accumulative effect of inflation goes unnoticed. And now what's going to happen is we're going to lower interest rates by pumping more money into the economy, and inflation will go up. Especially, this is my greatest fear, if the American economy, which all indication says it will explode, it will really expand and really grow. And if our economy does not, we're in deep doo-doo, like really deep doo-doo. For instance, if the United States economy really grows and super fast, and they raise interest rates and we're lowering interest rates, there is going to be a massive capital drain from Canada to the United States. Huge, right? And I can't really stress that enough. And we're in very dangerous territory. And it's not even about the threats of tariffs and everything else like that. Like, if we could make the United States very uncomfortable, I think we're unwilling to do that. Could you imagine if we say every truck that comes into Canada going to Alaska needs to pay 50 grand? Right? Like we would shut that down. Like it would be very difficult for United States to do much, right? That could be our bargaining chip, but we're unwilling to do that. We're not unified. We're very scattered. It's not even the tariffs that are that make me afraid, because we can't do really anything. If tariffs happen, but these internal economic decisions really do. So I know the lowering of interest rates might seem happy and okay, great. It's going to have some really tough down the line ramifications. And this whole thing about don't even get me started on the GST holiday. Anyways, I think it was just blatant tax grab and everything else, but it did make my board games a little bit cheaper when I bought them for Epiphany and stuff like that. Anyways, speaking of board games, next thing is games. So I've been playing lots of Gemblo. It is a Korean abstract strategy game, very quick to play. It's very fun. We play at least one game of it a day, which is pretty awesome. I know you're thinking, Lamont, you get to play some board games. Yeah, Catherine has been open to play some board games, so we've been playing Gemblo, Battle Line, and Tally Ho. I'm going to try to get this, if you know, this new game, not new, but this game on the table called The Duke, which is pretty fun. It's an abstract strategy game, sort of like a chess-ish game. It's pretty interesting. I'd like to do some like reviews and stuff like this. Some of my board games, it's short, sweet snacks of there. And I'm working on that on a side project right now. I'm working on another project. It seems like it's taking forever, but really I've only been seriously working on it for maybe less than a week, but I'm trying to do some different things and stuff like that. So I'm trying to really start some other projects, really. So people say to me, oh, you're going to do this. You're pretty excited. And it's basically because I want to spend less time on screens, full stop. And it seems like I need to kind of busy myself with some stuff. So that's my busyness, I guess. That's what I'm trying to do to get off the phone basically and waste time. I feel gross every time I waste time. So I've been reading some books, but sometimes you can only read so much and stuff like this until you want to do something different. So that's my other different, working on some other projects. I really encourage all you listeners out there that if you are, kind of trapped in a cycle of just wasting time and stuff like this, is just to pick up a new hobby, start something anew, I guess, because I think it's very helpful in our spiritual life to not waste time, do something productive. What am I reading? So I finished reading Traveler, the number one Traveler. It's called First You Fight. It was really good until the end. Really good. I could have, recommended this to somebody like Hugh or something like this to read, but at the end it got a little bit too spicy for me. And it was just one little scene, but it was just too much. And I didn't think it added to the story at all. It just is added like, oh, it's a book from the 80s. I gotta add some spiciness to it. So anyways, a little bit disappointed. I haven't ran across any other of these books in the series, so I probably won't read any more. I'm reading 2 books right now. Doomsday Warrior, number 12. Dig this title. I love it. Death, American Style. Yeah, it's pretty baller. Anyways, a little bit more like most of my other action adventure books. This is a little bit more, I don't know, plot heavy, I guess. And I know you're laughing right now, but they're trying to find that so it's a nuclear. The Russians, I think, bombed America. There's this whole nuclear fallout and everything else like this. And right now in the book, they're tracking down these like animal hybrids in order to get their DNA to figure out like why is the radiation messing up with the animals and everything else like that. It's pretty cool. But the one book I've been reading lots of is The Penetrator, number 13, Dixie Death Squad. So it's a series that was somewhat popular. That was part of at one time, I think, was part of the Gold Eagle brand or whatever. But basically, he is an amoral, like, master of disguise. It's okay. Not as spicy as I thought it was going to be very honest. Not really. But it's just weird. It's like a fantasy novel in a sense, like, because everything's so fantastical. It's hard to explain. I'll give a fuller review when I'm finished it, but everything is just so off the charts, really. Like everything is ramped up to a 15, like everything. So it is entertaining though. Like it is. It's a fun ride, but you have to really switch off any sort of conception of reality, like sort of like a fantasy novel. So it's pretty good. I'm also reading General Instruction of the Roman Missile. Hopefully I'll get in March or April, maybe in the Easter season. I'm not too sure, but we'll have that study there of the General Instruction of the Roman Missile. It's pretty good. It's pretty good so far. What am I watching? Serafina and I have no luck of watching any shows. We watch Abbott Elementary. We watched yesterday. We watched it actually on live TV, streamed or whatever. Anyways, and the last 2 episodes were kind of flat for me. I kind of liked the show, but the last couple episodes were pretty flat. But everything else we've tried to watch has came up bupkis, really. I guess the new season of Night Agent starts today, actually. So that's kind of cool. I stopped watching that Korean time travel show just because it got way too boring and was slow. Although I might pick it up again. I'm going to the gym today. I might start watching it again. But anyways, nothing really to report. Like I said, I'm trying to get off screens and stuff like this and read and do other projects. So I'm trying not to watch as much TV as I have in the past. Okay, the disputed area. I hate being that guy. Okay, and maybe I should explain myself. Okay, I didn't mention this. I don't even think I mentioned it in the prayers or whatever. But this past Monday, our furnace just crapped out. I came home at lunch. Luckily, I came home at lunch because it was really cold on Monday and it wasn't working. So I looked at my furnace, seen the air thing or whatever. I kind of took apart the front panel, switch it on and off. It started again, but I already phoned to get it looked at and luckily I did, because even though I got it working for a bit again, it just shut down. It's a pressure switch in the furnace that, doing a little bit of Googling and stuff like this, it's notorious for being flaky. Okay. So haven't had this furnace. We've had it less than 10 years. Okay. So the guy comes in, very good guy. I phoned the furnace guys that installed it and everything else. Pretty good name. His name's Maurice. Really nice guy. It was kind of fun just to watch him what he's doing. Took him a little bit of time to figure out, because there is these pressure switches. Sometimes it's just some water in one of the air tubes like this. You just blow it out. Boom. It's done. But we actually had to change the switch. And the dude says, okay, it's going to be under warranty. And you know how warranties work. The part's under warranty, but the labor is not. Okay, fine, whatever. Anyways, I'm going to have to, after maybe sometime today, I'm going to have to check out if labor is actually included or not. Okay, that's fine. Really good experience. Sign the paper, whatever. Yesterday, I'm at the home for the aged. I come there early to do some visiting. I get a phone call saying we're going to send you the invoice. Okay, perfect. So send me an invoice, and I get charged for the part. Okay, sugar smacks. So I go, because I'm there early. I go there and I said, listen, I'm pretty sure this is my disputed area. I hate being that guy. I hate being saying, hey, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. I know some of you out there really like doing that. I do not. Okay? And of course the ladies couldn't help me out, and so anyways, I finally found out yesterday, yes, it should be under warranty and they'll do up a new invoice. And I'm still waiting on that, right? I'm waiting because there's some sort of technical glitch. Now, here's my point, and there's no malicious action on their part. I want to make that quite clear. But how about if I did pay that whole thing? Do you think later on they'd phone me up and say, oh, wait a minute, that was under warranty, here's a rebate? No, probably not, right? I would like to say maybe, but they're not going to audit their books of guys that already paid their stuff, right? That stuff should have been automatic. And I hate being that guy. And of course, I'm a little bit more, I guess, self-conscious because I come in there because I just came from the home for the aged. So I have my Roman collar on and everything else. So, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not doing this as a flex. I'm not doing this so that you give me better service or whatever, because to be very honest, it rarely happens that way. Actually, sometimes I'm pretty sure I get worse service because sometimes just out of happenstance, I wear my Roman collar. That's a whole different other disputed area, let's just say. But I hate being that guy. Like chime in, use my 1-844 number. Do you like doing that? Do you feel uncomfortable? Have you ever had a situation where you just like played that extra money without being the guy? I've done it. I've had lots of stories like that. Like, yeah, I'll pay the extra $5. I just don't want to be that guy that says, oh, wait a minute, So anyways, that's my disputed area. My inconsequential hot take is this. People with good memories can fake being smart. Okay, I'll give you a good example of this, okay? Because this happened to me. Because I have a particularly good memory of things I've read. And to be very honest, I know some of you might think I'm lying, but I don't read as much as I should. But the stuff I do read, I really know. So there's this Max Weber book called The Protestant Basically Work Ethic or whatever. And I've read most of that book. I kind of know what the book is and stuff like this. And I haven't read it in a while. And anyways, there was this teacher, really good, guy that I know quite well, Jeff. He's at the Phoenix School, and he mentions, Max Weber. And I said, oh yeah, and so I talk about the book, and he's like, what? When did you? He thought I was super smart, but no, I just have really good recall. I can fake being smart because people think being smart is be able to be like a Google, right? But I think smartness and intelligence is a lot more than that. So I think I fake being smart a lot just because I can retain a lot of stuff that I read. which is not really intelligence or smartness. That's why when we talk about artificial intelligence, we get that all wrong. But anyways, that's my inconsequential hot take, and it's really directed at me. People with good memories can fake mean smart. Oh, my voice is getting all groggly here. Okay, it is time to go. Hopefully that was a good episode. Hopefully you'll wait around for the next about 10 minutes, and then we'll start the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Until next time, God bless. Have a great day. Remember, phone my 1844 number. Have a good day. Keep it crispy. Keep it crispy, Meditator Tots. Bye.